Well, good morning. Welcome back to the Elusive Lens channel. I'm so glad to see you. Nearly had to scrape the windshield today. It finally hit 32 degrees. As you can tell, steam vapor coming out of my mouth. And everything is nice and crisp. I am at a local wetland preserve. So we have beautiful fog rising off the couple of ponds that we have here. And you know how they say cast iron while the iron is hot, and this is a great time to come out and capture the season change. We have golden aspens, the river cottontails just fluffing up. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous here. So I'm out as a photographer ought to capture those highlights of season changes, and with a couple of lenses see what we can find. And I hope you enjoy the rest of this video. The light is changing so fast, and I have to hurry to capture just this ever fast sunrise over the this little tiny pond. And I have a aspen tree right in the middle of the shot that's on the mound center. Let me show you what, I don't know if you can see that into the sun. It's that tree right there in the middle. Sorry about that glare, but we'll see what it turns out on the camera. Well, this is kind of embarrassing. This is supposed to be a video on a photo shoot, and yet there's very little video. And in my defense, I do shoot all manual lens all the time. And so if I do find any kind of composition that requires a different focal length, there is no zooming in and out. So, but it is running back to my bag and swapping the lens, and whether it's a telephoto to capture that further mountain in the distance, or it's going to be to grab the nice foreground with my 17mm. So this video is kind of seem a little hectic, but hopefully we'll, in spite of that, we'll get some nice images and capture the light that I came out to find. So thanks for being patient. So I found another composition. I love these lonely trees out in the field, so let me show you what it looks like right now, what I'm looking at. As you can tell, what a beautiful scene with lingering fog. You can't quite see that in the Osmo because of the light right in the lens, but we got the fog and hazy mountains in the back. On the camera, it should turn out fairly well. I am shooting 50mm lens, and I am ISO 160. What I will end up doing is I will have to exposure stack to get just that beautiful color richness. So if it turns out any good, of course, I will share that with you. Here it is. So by now you may have heard or even probably engaged into a conversation with somebody about whether you should or not use a long telephoto lens for your landscape shots. So often people resort to wider angle, 15mm, 20mm, whatever particular scene would demand to capture all that you want into that angle of view. However, I just wanted to show a slight difference between my 2.8 on a Canon 5D Mark II with 24 millimeter versus. And the scene is beautiful, but capturing certain parts of what we're looking at, that's what makes the difference. So this scene does not make very much sense. The horizon is so far away. You have so much empty space in the sky, and the foreground is super wide, and there is nothing happening in it. It is very bland, very boring. So if I switch to my 24 millimeter lens on my Canon, it is not that much different. So you lose a lot of that intimacy. However, notice now the difference between the 200 millimeter lens. We brought in so much of the landscape towards us where we can enjoy the colors, the mountains in the back. So this is what those images look like when put up against each other. So I am trying to get as much out of this scene or out of this location as I can. The sun is coming up pretty high, but there's still a couple of spots that I want to go around and see if I can grab. Right now, this is kind of a unique. There's a tree right there on the trail with a couple of benches, and to me it just seems very peaceful, very restful. People come hiking down this trail all the time, and it overlooks the pond that right now is empty on this side of this wetlands, but it has the view of this wall of trees. But I wanted to isolate this particular tree with the benches on it as they are lit up by the sun, and the background trees are slightly in the shade. So if this image turns out okay, I will share with you guys as well. I am shooting this particular one at 250th of a second, ISO 160 f11 on my 135 millimeter lens. So hopefully it turns out okay. Of course, it would be remiss of me not to try to capture some of this beautiful reflection of colorful trees in the remaining pools that we have here at this wetland preserve. Right now I am all the way down to the ground. As you can tell, I'm shooting 17 millimeter lens, ISO 160 f8, and I'm going to try to stack different exposures for detail and just color richness. So this is what that image turned out on the screen. All right, guys, before I say goodbye for the day, a quick word about our video's sponsor, which is our favorite partner, Elusive Lens. Yeah, of course, I pay for my own gear, my own gas, my own time, video and photo processing and editing, and this outstanding wardrobe I'm wearing today. Anyway, hey, if you like the content of this video, please hit that like button and subscribe, share the content, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye.